This is chapter 2 of The Little Golden Llama. We just finished reading chapter 1. Now, chapter 2 is Titu. The Glitter of Gold was chapter 1. Chapter 2, Titu. After a strenuous climb that left his legs burning, Canoe found his uncle high on the hillside. He greeted Urkon warmly. Well, if it isn't the little goldsmith himself, Urkon joked, taking a break to come and see me. He raised an eyebrow. Or perhaps you've only come to see the herd. After talking to his uncle for a while, Canoe left his side to wander through the herd. His presence barely caused a ripple among them. The llamas weren't concerned by his being there. Some of the bolder creatures even meandered right up and looked him straight in the eye, chewing noisily. Urkon treated his animals well, and they were a gentle bunch. Canoe knew, though, that if you mistreated a llama, you'd have a totally different beast on your hands. He had once seen a man put a very heavy load on his llama, expecting the poor animal to carry it. The llama had sat down and refused to budge, ignoring the man shouting. A crowd of people had gathered in the street, laughing at the man in derision until he had relented and lightened the load. Canoe crept up to his favorite of Urkon's herd, the one he called Titu. Titu had pure black wool and stood taller than the rest, with his head held high and his neck long and graceful. There was something about Titu. His ears were more alert, and his legs were as strong as tree branches. Titu stood motionless while Canoe rubbed the coarse fur on his neck and spoke to him in whispers. Titu seemed to listen before cantering away. Watching him, Canoe observed that Titu closely resembled the golden llama his father was carefully shaping. Canoe imagined trekking with Titu, stepping steady and sure-footed over the uneven terrain of the mountainsides, even at high altitudes where the air was thin and difficult to breathe. No other animal could travel the mountains like a llama. Don't get too attached to that one, Urkon strolled over. What do you mean? Asked Canoe warily. He shivered. There was something about his uncle's tone that he didn't like. The sun disappeared, and Titu suddenly seemed dangerously far away. Urkon avoided his nephew's eyes. Ask your father, was all he could say. That is the end of chapter 2. Thank you for listening. We will now pause and wait for chapter 3. I'm Dr. Priscilla.